Welcome to Wanna Bet, the daily gambling game show that takes betting seriously, but not much else. Get our favorite plays on the totals, sides, props, exotics, and futures to jump on now.
So let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Subject som kräver konsolbabba så felina. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben.
Welcome to WannaBet. Happy Monday. I'm Jason. That's Ben. We're WannaBet. We do this 7 days a week. We give you we try to, distill our work down to bite-sized pieces across all the gambling markets that we are wagering in and try to give you winning plays to share and enjoy with us, or at least spark some conversation among you and your friends, or prompt some future further work that you do on these games that maybe lead you to a profitable outcome. That's what we're in it for. That's what we do. And there's our ripoff of PTI rundown right there down the side, like always. For a second, third down, 3 of our favorite plays we've made since yesterday's show. Or it could be, frankly, plays we made a few days ago but haven't given out on the show yet, and we update the odds and we see where things stand and if we still like them. Fourth and long-term bets, long shot bets, futures. Fourth and long receptions, long rushing. Could also be fourth and short, quick hitters to get you paid quickly in these games so you don't have to sit through all of them. Overtime, football, and football parlays every single day, and we are running out of NFL prime time windows in the regular season, and we've done quite well in them. We don't bullshit you here. We tell you when we're great, when we're not. We show all our work before and after the shows. And Beltway, Ben, how did it go yesterday? Look, we had a great weekend in soccer. I hope you join me in the plus 110 on Harry Kane I gave out at halftime of the Bayern match. Told you on yesterday's feed I was going to check some numbers, and I would have Bayern second half plays at the half. We put it on Twitter. Harry Kane in the 94th minute or whatever. Ben, when that happened and I started doing my little dance in the living room, I'm thinking this is going to be a good day. And it was okay, but it wasn't great. The OPI edict clearly was out. That was what the officials were instructed to enforce. We had a batshit crazy NFL Sunday across the board. Somehow Aaron Rodgers didn't throw 2 passing touchdowns in that game. A long explosive runs, an OPI on Darnell Washington where it looked to me he was just running a crossing route. I don't know what he's supposed to do. He's 320 pounds. Took one off the board. Drake May, good plus money on 30 or more rushing yards. He's got a touchdown at the end of the game that would have put us well over 30. He slides, then he kneels down a couple times. We end up going under 30 there. And Arizona, we had a nice 2-leg parlay, Chargers money line, and Arizona and Atlanta to score at least 47 points. A missed extra point, 2 missed 40-something yard field goals, Harrison dropping an easy touchdown pass, and then Brissett interception at the end where it looked like maybe they would go in and tie it. Look, we loved Michael Wilson. He had 52 yards and a touchdown on 2 catches. He got 2 targets in the first 4 series, didn't get a ball thrown to him again until the last offensive play of the game. We were pretty close to having a monster Sunday. Instead, we treaded water. There you go. Since our first show, May 21st, we've given out now close to 1,200 winning bets on this show, and we are a combined 50 units up in 7 months doing this show 7 days a week, giving you inventory across all sports, giving you difficult plus money plays by and large, not one minus 225, anytime touchdown bullshit. That's how we roll. Beltway Ben, I know Sunday you caught the brunt end of some bullshit too.
Yeah, Ladd McConkey, big play of the week, our 2-unit play. That's rare. It's not like we're giving out 2-unit plays every day. Probably a handful of times we've done it. Ladd McConkey over 46.5 receiving yards, catches a 25-yard touchdown with 9:50 left, and went on to do nothing else. Finished the game with 43. Felt very confident that he would get 4 more yards in the game. How does he not, right? And he's on the field more than anybody else. The Cowboys really struggle against the slot, and he proceeded to not catch another pass. And it wasn't because he got hurt. It wasn't because they benched him a little bit. No, he was running routes and just didn't get there. That felt weird. It sucked. Hard to watch. Aaron Jones, fantasy score, finished with 11.4. We needed a catch, another couple yards. Like, it was just unfortunate. Again, he didn't play well early, but as the game went on, he got better. I mean, he also missed 2 drives with an injury and then sub back in and finishes few yards short of the fantasy score we needed. So that sucked. We cashed Bucky Irving and Tet McMillan. We lost Isaiah Likely. He didn't catch a pass. We lost the tight end parlay, which he was involved in as well. Yeah. We cashed the Lions Steelers parlay that we cashed was a big one. That was plus 200. That helped offset the 2 losing bets we had in that one because the over somehow cashed after nothing was going on in the first half. So it was a down day for sure, but we were inches away from a pretty solid day.
Yeah. Engine number 9 getting hurt in that game hurt me as well. He wiped out in the first half, but he was force-feeding Jefferson like I thought he would. I mean, that's what was going on there. And then he hurts his finger and whatever. Bremer comes in, and there goes Justin Jefferson anytime touchdown. So look, that's how it goes. 50 units up, 7+ months doing this 7 days a week, giving you at least 5 plays a day. A lot of times it's more like 8 or 10 each. So let's get it started, Beltway Ben. First down, 2 college games I like. There is a ton of college hoops inventory today and tomorrow, and then it's gone till the weekend. Nothing till the other side of Christmas. Full disclosure, I jumped this early at minus 18.5 at minus 110. This morning I saw it at 16.5, and I'm on it again. We like the Golden Hurricane, one of the smoothest, most efficient offenses in the country. They get home against the Denver team. They had a great spirited comeback against Western Kentucky 3 days ago, Friday night. Beautiful inbounds play to hit the 3. They had a horrible start to that game, but still got over 80 points against the game Western Kentucky team. Beltway Ben, Denver is the dregs. 333rd in the country defending the 2-ball, 365th in the country defending the 3-ball, 364th Ken Palm opponents EFG. There's only, I think, 366 teams in the country. Tulsa at home shooting 40% from 3. This is a team that hung 117 on Arkansas Pine Bluff. We were on that one. They've got a 98, a 111, and an 84 scored at home. I think they win this game by 20 or more points. Also staying local here in the Baltimore area, I like the Towson Tigers minus 9.5, minus 120 against Sacred Heart. It's a Sacred Heart team that is not going to be able to compete on the boards with Towson. They've got one 6'9" kid who plays over half the minutes. They've got nobody else who can do that. Towson's backcourt, they've got 6'7" guards. Towson went out to Kansas, their best player. Tejada got 3 fouls right away. The ticket's back up, Ben. Do you want it up? Oh. All good. No, I do. It's all good. Beltway Ben was up to like 3 a.m. doing a Ravens postgame show yesterday. So we're all a little sleep deprived here. So anyway, look, Tejada got in foul trouble last time out and barely played against Kansas. I think he will be on a mission here. It's a Sacred Heart team that's 290th in the country in defensive rebounding, 295th in the country defending the 2-ball. Towson runs an old school offense when they do it right and don't take too many threes, and they pound you down low. They've got size. They've got guards who finish at the hoop. Williamson and Tejada, 2 of the best players in the CAA. They'll be hungry after going on their last road trip of the season out of conference and kind of laying a couple of eggs. Sacred Heart also can't protect the basketball Beltway, but they probably couldn't protect the football either. 19% turnover rate. That's outside the top 275 in the country. I think this is a chance for Towson to win by double digits. 2 p.m. tip-off there. Down the street, Siku Arena.
First down, we will go to tonight's matchup, and we're going to play Jonathan Taylor over 119.5 rushing and receiving yards, which you can find at minus 115. And we will also play a little same game parlay. Jonathan Taylor, 3+ receptions, and Brock Purdy 175 plus passing yards at minus 125. We'll start just with Taylor, the regular rushing and receiving. Since week 8, 53.8% success rate against the run for San Francisco. That is the third worst in the NFL. Jason has documented their struggles against running backs, both running the football and in the passing game. And you want to ask, well, if you think he's going to have a big day on the ground, excuse me, sorry. Why are you not taking just the rushing? Well, let's look at what they've done in the passing game. Phillip Rivers last week targeted him 4 times. He had 3 catches, and one of those is due to break. We've seen it with him in his career, those short passes that he breaks a tackler to, and the rest, it's an 80-yard reception. Turns into that. San Francisco's allowing 6 receptions for 39 yards over the last 7 weeks to opposing running backs, bottom 5 in the NFL. His regular rushing number is 97.5. I do like that. I would play that for a unit. I think he's going to run the football a lot. He ran the football 25 times last week. Came up just shy of the number. But this defense against the run is not very good. And you can try to take it away all you want, but let's look what they've done. 14 carries for 104 for Tony Pollard. 23 carries for 91 for Quinshon Judkins. And they should have played that the same way, forcing Shedeur to beat them in that matchup. Now, Dowdle and Hubbard weren't used right in the Carolina game, and that game was a weird one. We heard Dowdle complaining about that postgame.
Yeah.
But before that, the Rams, 14 for 73 for Kyron Williams, 13 for 56 from Blake Corum, 8 for 43 against the Giants for Devin Singletary, and none of those guys are Jonathan Taylor. I mean, let's just call it what it is. Jonathan Taylor has had an awesome season, and with Phillip Rivers at age 44 throwing the football, I don't know that you want him dropping back a lot, and I think you're going to say, here's Jonathan Taylor, we got to go with him, let's see what he can do, and we know the explosives that he brings. So I think he's going to have a big day on the ground. I think he'll have a few catches. Quite honestly, I think he goes over this 119.5 just running the football, because I think we see 2 explosives. And with him, those usually start to add up. And you can see the 270-yard rushing weeks that we've seen in the past with him with multiple touchdowns. And if they have any shot, which I don't think they're going to win, but it would be Jonathan Taylor's success. So give me Jonathan Taylor over 119.5 rushing and receiving at minus 115. And then we'll also play the same game parlay. Jonathan Taylor, 3+ receptions. Brock Purdy, 175+ passing yards, minus 125. I will get to Purdy in a second. And then also Jonathan Taylor over 97.5 rushing, minus 110.
I'm going to have my plays on this game in 4th and overtime, but don't worry, we'll get there. Second down for me, we are going back to Pelicans overs at home. This opened at 239.5. It's now at 240. It's juiced a little bit, minus 112. We still like it. If you haven't been paying attention, why do we like Pels overs at home? Well, first of all, New Orleans is 9-3 to the over in their last 12 games, period, home and road. They have 9 straight overs at home. 11 of their last 12 have gone over at home. They've gone over by 1.5, 27.5, 21.5, 28.5, 7.5, 61.5, 24.5, 29.5. Kira's got the 10.5, 7.5, 11.5, 3.5. That's a lot. How about Dallas? Well, they're over in 5 of their last 6. That's who's coming to town tonight. Dallas has 4 straight overs on the road. 5 of their last 6 road games have gone over. Those games have gone over by 8.5, 31.5, 13.5, 16.5, and 15.5. I went and looked at Pels home games over the last 6 weeks, Beltway Ben. Their net rating at home the last 6 weeks, offensive net rating, is number 1 in the NBA, 128. Their games at home over the last 6 weeks are averaging 156 points. 256 points, 156 points. They're scoring 128 themselves. How about Dallas's last 5 on the road? They've averaged 245. The Pels are out to get theirs. It doesn't matter if they fall behind like they did to Houston and it looked like the game was over. At some point, they're going to go on a ridiculous scoring run. Both these teams have defensive inefficiencies, and we're going to keep riding this trend.
I will stick with this Monday Night Football matchup, and we will play Brock Purdy over 243.5 passing yards, which you can find at minus 112. For Brock Purdy, he's been over 243.5 in all 3 indoor games he's played. Now, these are different years. You can go a few years back for this. Hasn't played a lot. It's just a 3-game sample size, but he hasn't thrown for under 270 in those matchups. You also look at what this Colts defense is doing over their last 4. They've allowed 247 or more passing yards in 4 straight games. That passing defense is struggling. This offense we know what Christian McCaffrey can do, and he can get it going on the ground. But the Colts' run defense has been just fine, and I think it might be a healthy dose of Brock Purdy, who last week finally started to look like what we saw a little bit last year, and the reason they paid him the way they did, and he was throwing the football fine. Lately, it hasn't been that way since returning from injury. He hasn't looked comfortable. He hadn't thrown the football well until last week. Last week, he started getting it going again. And you're not going to have Ricky Pearsall, but that's fine. You're going to have Jawan Jennings, which I know Jason's going to get to in a little bit too, and I will as well. I think this is going to be a strong night throwing the football from Brock Purdy. 5.5 point spread. They shouldn't be up 21 points late where he's not throwing the football. You also always have the easy throws to Christian McCaffrey that can eat some of these yards away. So give me Brock Purdy over 243.5 passing yards at -112. I talked about the stadium before with him, but just in this time of the year, being able to get a dome game for passing props is crucial. We see it all the time. We saw it yesterday in that Steelers-Detroit game. Even when both guys didn't look great early, they turned it on in the second half. And you don't have to worry about the cold. You don't have to worry about any weather. I think it'll be a heavy passing game for the 49ers. Purdy over 243.5 passing yards, -112.
Worked out well for Kirk Cousins in that dome. Not so much for Jacoby Brissett. Cass, you want to say hi to the people? Huh? You want to come? You want to? No? Huh? What's that? You're too shy. We're live on the YouTube and the Twitter. No? Casserole says hi. Cousin Cass says hi. You want to come on? We've got my nieces here for a little while. Huh? No? What are you guys? Why are you guys being chickens? Buck, 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 buck. Christmas chickens. Well, I'm here for a little while longer if you want to say hi to the people. Help us get some sponsorships. All right, third down. Footy was good to us. I got to tell you, though, Beltway Ben, I can't get over that Bournemouth-Burnley game. And I was walking the dogs, watching it, and I thought I was going to get in trouble. I was screaming F-bombs so loud when that bullshit header, and they tied it in the 90th minute. It would have been a perfect weekend in the Prem and Die Bundesliga! But let's keep it going. We got a 3 o'clock kickoff in the Prem. Watch it on the USA Network. We'll be watching in the studio, Beltway Ben. Let's go over 2.5 goals in Forest at Fulham. Craven Cottage, a lot of goals been scored there lately. First of all, let's just start with Forest. There's been at least 3 goals, total goals, in 6 of Nottingham Forest's last 9 matches overall. Forest has kept exactly 1 clean sheet, Beltway Ben, in 8 road games all season. I don't think they're keeping a clean sheet here. If you want to throw the TTS in here, I ain't mad at you. I have in some parlays. But for this one, that's still plus 100. Let's just take the over 2.5 goals. All right, so Fulham, Beltway Ben. Here's Fulham's total goals in their last 12 matches. 5, 3, 9, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 4, 4, 4. That's a lot of over 2.5s. Kira's got the 10.5. That's 9 times in their last 12 games. There have been at least 3 goals. Well, how about Fulham just at home? Well, 3 total goals on average per EPL game played at Craven Cottage this season. I think we get some goals. We've been getting a lot of goals in the Prem lately. So keep it simple, stupid. And BTTS it if you want, because I do think both teams score.
All right, we will stick with this football game here. We're going to go with Tyler Warren, 40-plus receiving yards, which you can find at plus money, plus 125. If you told me through the first 6 weeks of the season that at this point in the year, later in the season, when teams start to rely on their tight ends the way they should and all of those things, that he would be plus money for 40-plus yards, I would have told you were crazy. How did the season start? 76, 79, 38, 70, 44, 63, 69, 53. He was clearing this with regularity. This was a regular thing for him. He was one of their best passing options, and it was normal. Now, Daniel Jones' injury changes things, and it's been down since, 45, 22, 15, 19 in his last few. But one thing that sticks out, he had 6 targets last game in Phillip Rivers' first matchup. Now, we saw a couple misses from Phillip Rivers. What would you expect from the 44-year-old who's been taking care of 30 kids for this long out of football since COVID time, right? You take care of 30 kids, you're doing all that. A lot of kids.
I wonder how many nieces he's going to have.
Probably a very large amount. And he also has...
Definitely a lot of grandkids.
Yeah, grandkids, yes, but if he's well, he might just be the odd man out of the family. But if he's got 20, then you'd imagine his brother or sister has
Yeah, I don't
maybe
know what the rest of the
River
procreation
family. Yeah.
ratios are for Rivers. I'm guessing he's probably got a lot of siblings himself.
Yes, I think
I
it's a
think
trend. It's a,
that trend
it's a
tends to fall right down family lines.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah. I
and
don't
it's
think
probably
he's the odd
feast or
man out.
famine. Like the ones who don't partake in like the extreme procreation probably have none or one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's
Like I don't think there's probably a lot of twos and threes. I think we're going like over under 5.5, 6.5 over, or like over under half a kid.
yeah, definitely. But no,
I
Philip's
don't know
been
about definitely. That's
he's
my
been
theory.
he's been he's been parenting for a while, and then he comes back last week, and he wasn't great, but he wasn't horrible, and that was against the Mike McDonald defense that straight up has injured quarterbacks and gets after the quarterback, and they're aggressive, and they get to the quarterback and they finish guys. They didn't do that much against Philip Rivers. There was one sack that he kind of curled over, didn't want to take a hit, rolled down, and that was the one that they got away with. But he had 6 targets for Warren, and there were a few misses that were close. And there were also a few screens that were tackled around the line of scrimmage. That's been an area where San Francisco's been beaten. They're like bottom 6 in tight end receiving yards over their last 8 weeks. And that's been a common theme. You attack tight ends when they play against this football team, and not enough of those teams have been solid that they're playing. Like San Francisco's played solid football of late, but again, the Colts with Philip Rivers aren't the same team they once were. This is still a pretty tough team. I do think San Francisco's starting to get on the right foot, but I think Philip Rivers might be able to throw the football just a little bit. And when he does, I don't know that it'll be the receivers. I think it's going to be Tyler Warren. So again, this is a guy that went over this way more than not for the first half of the season. And since Daniel Jones suffered the injury, tried to play through it, and then ultimately got hurt, things haven't gone his way. Give me Tyler Warren, 40 plus receiving yards at plus 125.
Halftime. A little different today. Halftime after Tyler Warren, by the way, man. Hopefully that helps you out. I'm here to help in so much as I can, given that I barely know how to turn this computer on. Okay, now to my Monday night plays. I guess, yeah, I mean, we're going to say these are both fourth and short. Juwan Jennings, first touchdown of the game, plus 900. Why do I like this? Well, look, you're throwing darts here. But he does have 6 touchdowns in the last 5 games. Purdy likes throwing to him. He has 3 first-quarter touchdowns in his last 6, 5 in the first half. No Sauce Gardner. Brock Purdy's been terrible in primetime games. And there's a chance they could play in primetime in the playoffs. And if I'm Kyle Shanahan, I don't want Jonathan Taylor to wear my defense out. I want to make Philip Rivers have to attack. I want to make him have to drop back a bunch. And so I'm going to go after a secondary that isn't very good. And I'm going to make this kid earn his $60 million, and I'm going to try to take some shots. And Jennings is the guy who's been getting the shots, not Pearsall. To me, if you don't want to go McCaffrey here, who would be the obvious one, but you're not getting great value, it's Kittle or it's Jennings. I'm going to take the outside receiver. I think the matchups could be a little better there. But again, it's a bit of a lark. And then I guess this is short because a short field goal could cash for us. And these things could happen early in the game. Both teams to have a field goal 35 yards or longer, minus 110. A lot of times these are 33, but it's in a dome, so we're getting bumped back a couple yards. But these are teams like Groupie's 5 of 5 since he got to Indianapolis. It was obviously field goal fest against an NFC West team last weekend. Rivers in the red zone. How much red zone time has he had practicing with this team? Like none. That's a special situation. I mean, he's barely been there long enough to look at the playbook. The Colts have 4 straight games with at least 2 or more touchdowns. And Purdy has been bad in prime time, and drives have stalled. And look, San Francisco's 10th in the NFL. Can I read my own handwriting here? We're running up against it again. Colts, San Francisco. I can't read my own handwriting. San Francisco's kicked a lot of field goals lately. I think it's 2 or more in 5 of the last 6. They're on the road. It's going to be loud. Colts still have something to play for. I wouldn't be shocked if both kickers have at least 2 field goals in this game, Beltway Ben. But Spotify's Apple Bottoms. Each team, field goal, 35 yards or longer, minus 110.
I'm going to go to a parlay, and it's 4th and long because it's for Christmas. I did want to give out a few Christmas plays before the 24th. And of course, we'll give them out 24th. But for people traveling, I know tomorrow and Wednesday, you guys will be traveling, so we'll give you a few early Christmas plays. Now, this
I got
isn't...
a bunch for tomorrow. But
yeah, I have a
you
few
think
for tomorrow
tomorrow's
as well.
too late? Christmas is Thursday, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it depends where you're going. I mean, if you're going to 3 hours away drive, it's probably fine. I'm just giving them out. Thanksgiving, I gave them out Monday through Thursday.
Yeah.
But no, here we're going with Cowboys team total over 23.5. Dak Prescott, 2+ passing touchdowns. CeeDee Lamb, 40+ receiving yards. Terry McLaurin, 20+ receiving yards. The last two I really don't have to explain. Terry McLaurin, since coming back, has gone over this in every game. CeeDee Lamb is Dak's favorite guy to go to. Even in the weeks where George Pickens has had the 100+ yard games, CeeDee Lamb has still been featured with 50+. It's a regular thing as long as he's healthy. Dak Prescott over 1.5 touchdown passes. Went over it last game against the Chargers. That was both early. If you could have just ran one of those in, if they could have ran one, you would have cashed that play. But Dak has thrown for 2+ regularly this season. You're now going to put him up against the Commanders defense that is awful against the pass. They're bad against the run. And Dallas is a pass-heavy team, and they're going to do it again this week. And I also like them over 23.5 points. It's a number that they've gone over regularly. The offense hasn't been the issue for them this year. It's been the defense. Against a bad Commanders defense in a rivalry divisional game, I think they're going to score a lot of points, and I think this matchup could be one of those shootouts. So give me the Cowboys team total over 23.5 points, Dak Prescott over 1.5 touchdown passes, CeeDee Lamb 40+ receiving yards, and Terry McLaurin 20+ receiving yards, plus 114.
Excellent. Overtime. I will have plays on that Dallas game and that Detroit game tomorrow, and I like Dak Prescott. I like Ferguson. I like a lot there. All right, 2 overtime plays for me. George Kittle, 60 or more receiving yards, and San Francisco minus 5.5. This will get us 2-1, plus 200. San Francisco's been a covering machine, 9-5 against the spread. They've covered 4 straight. The Colts have lost, 4 in a row. San Francisco has covered 3 straight prime time. Now, again, a lot of that was Mac Jones and not Purdy, but this Phillip Rivers thing, I just have a hard time buying it, man. I mean, he surprised people last week. San Francisco's got a ton to play for here. I know they've got an inept pass rush, but they can't expose Phillip Rivers a little bit here. And then as to Kittle, he's been force-fed no matter who the quarterback is. 5 straight games with 67 yards receiving or more. The Colts have allowed at least 50 receiving yards to tight ends in 9 of the last 12. They've done a decent job keeping tight ends out of the end zone, but tight ends between the 20s have had their way with them. And Purdy likes throwing to him. He's a big target. He's in great form. And let's face it, Pearsall's season hasn't been great. Ayuk's never going to play there again. There's kind of 2 main things in that pass game right now. It's Kittle, who we just covered, and it's Juwan Jennings, who we have in the anytime or first touchdown market. And look, we also played this parlay on Jennings. Jennings anytime touchdown, Jennings 40 or more receiving yards, and the 49ers to win the game, plus 262. He's got 37 or more receiving yards in 7 straight, 41 or more in 5 of the last 7. We chronicled the touchdowns. 6 in the last 5 games. He can score from outside the red zone. He can score from inside the red zone. And I think San Francisco's winning this football game. And frankly, I think this could be real tough sledding for the Colts if they cannot get the volume they're going to need in the run game to keep it close. I'm not sure why this game has been priced like it has. And maybe I'm missing something here, but sometimes it is what it is. So those are my overtime plays.
Yeah, for overtime, we're just going to go with 3 different parlays for tonight. And we'll start with just the regular Juwan Jennings play. I told you guys we would get to that. I knew Jason was going to touch on it a little bit there, but I'm just going to play him for his regular yards. We'll say Juwan Jennings over 54.5 receiving yards, a minus 112. Hasn't been over this in a few games in a row, but this is a bad passing defense. Wide receivers have had a lot of success against the Colts, especially since Sauce Gardner went down quickly after the trade. They haven't been able to defend it. He is that true wide receiver 1. Ricky Pearsall has already been ruled out. No Ricky Pearsall means a lot for this passing game. And can we see some stuff out of George Kittle? Yes. Will Christian McCaffrey catch a few passes? Probably. But this is a defense that's taken away running backs in the passing game for the majority of the year. But wide receiver 1s have continued to eat against them. And you're putting Brock Purdy in a dome in good conditions. Should be easy throws for him. And Juwan Jennings is a wide receiver that is vocal. He wants the football, and he will start things on the sideline. You don't want to deal with that in the middle of your push to win the division and all of those things. He is their best receiving option outside of George Kittle tonight. I think we're going to see a healthy dose of him, and I think we're going to see Purdy throwing the football a lot, which is what I talked about earlier. If that is the case, Juwan Jennings just has to have a strong night. 5 catches will put him over this, and I think he gets there. So Juwan Jennings over 54.5 receiving yards. The next play, it's a parlay. Tyler Warren, 3+ receptions. Juwan Jennings, 40+ receiving yards. And Brock Purdy, 200+ passing yards. This is the somewhat safe parlay, I guess you could say, for this one. It's plus 108. I think Warren's going to catch 3 passes. Even when the yards aren't there, he's still catching 2 or 3 screens where they're trying to put him out in space, because that's one area since his Penn State time that we saw success. If you get him out in open space and let him break a few tackles, he can make the big play. They're going to try to do that, especially with Phillip Rivers, who does not want to be throwing the football way down the field. Jennings, I just touched on. And he hasn't been over 50 a lot, but 40's been a number. He's been right around 37. Some of those areas, I think they're going to be throwing the football quarters 1 through 4. Purdy 200+. I said it last time. Like, it's almost somewhat like Lamar Jackson, where we started to see it against Cincinnati. I know he got hurt last night. Different injury. Hurts his back. But we started feeling comfortable about what we were seeing. Last week, I know they were playing the Titans. Brock Purdy looked better than he had all year. And I'm not a big Brock Purdy guy, but I think he can have some success throwing the football against Indianapolis tonight in a dome with these conditions. And with the way that they can take away the run, they're going to have to throw the football a little bit, which is why we will also play this plus 163 play. Purdy 250+, Jennings 50+ receiving. Already broke everything down. We take Purdy's number a little bit up. We bring Jennings a little bit down to get us plus 163. I also will give out Juwan Jennings over 4.5 receptions at minus 110, depending on where you shop. I talked about it before. I just think this will be a healthy dose of Jennings in the passing game. When you look at the past 4 games, 3 or 4 games, he's been going under. He's due for a strong spot, and it couldn't come in a better spot indoors, prime time like this. Give me Juwan Jennings over 4.5 receptions as well.
Everybody we talked about on the show today, you could all take a lesson from Hat-Trick Harry Kane in the 94th minute. Let's go. Our boys from Bayern on hiatus for a while. No Bayern betting till I think they play like January 9th in the Champions League, something like that. That's our show, Beltway Ben. If you don't mind putting the scoreboard up there, because we keep score. We hold ourselves to a high standard around here. We are our own toughest critics. That's what we've done since our first show, May 21st, with Katie Mox. So, yeah, look, you guys want Katie Mox back on the show? We have done shows in the past with other guests, people who have specialties. You guys have suggestions, feedback, whatever. We love getting your emails at wannabetwithus@gmail.com. I guess it's noon the rest of the week, Beltway Ben. Is that what we're thinking?
Does 11 work?
Yeah.
Maybe 11 the rest of the week. I think I might just do it from here.
Okay.
Instead of bringing my stuff in, because
get it in. Yeah. Especially with no shows Thursday. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do 11 the rest of the week. There you have executive decision. Because there's early college hoops, and there's a lot of weird stuff going on. So that's great. We appreciate you guys tuning in. You want to bet, we want to bet. Thank you for betting with us, Juwan Jennings.